So I've got like a funny thing here, which looks very ominous, but this is actually a vegan milk maker. Sounds weird, but we're gonna make some oat milk. The first thing we're gonna do, where's the opening on this? So we're gonna make some oat milk with this, and with that oat milk, we're gonna make two things. We're gonna cook some cauliflower, which is one of the first things that we're gonna make before we even make the oat milk. So we're gonna make a cauliflower and cheese. So we're gonna cook some cauliflower with a vegan kind of cheesy sauce. So what we first do is we're gonna cook this baby, so it's gonna get a little bit softer. Cook the florets, then put them in a wonderful baking dish. Cover it with a vegan cheese sauce and a couple of other bits and bobs in there. And at the same time, once this is baking and in the oven, we're also going to make some Yorkshire puddings, vegan Yorkshire puddings. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take away the leaves of this cauliflower to get to the flower part. I want to make this a little bit, I want to make this look like wow wow boom. So I'm just going to add the whole kind of thing in here, add some water. So I'm going to cover it about halfway, so I'm going to probably boil it for 5 to 10 minutes one side, then turn it around and boil it on the other side. And that should get things boiling through. Where is my towel? Here. Hand wash towel. I'm also going to add a little bit of salt, which doesn't just help the flavor, but it helps the cooking process. Put my oven on full whack at this stage, because for the Yorkshire puddings the oven needs to be really hot. So I'm gonna pop the oven on full whack. Okay, so that's the first part done. Good. Next thing we're gonna do is actually making our oat milk. So I'm gonna have I usually have like a big bag of oats that I'm gonna use. Ideally get it from like a larder shop, which is lovely because you can like fill it up yourself. So I'm gonna use 1 cup of oats. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. What I'm also gonna add is some coconut oil, just a teaspoon of coconut oil. Helps with the consistency. And then I'm gonna use some corn flour. The corn flour helps to the consistency and stabilizing the thing. And again, half a teaspoon. Okay, and then we're gonna fill it up with a few cups of water. And here we go. This is pretty much all you have to do. Now you just have to take a whisk and whisk it up. And all you need to do is just push all the liquid out. Otherwise you would need to use a cheesecloth or something like this, or something that's really fine. So what I'm doing here is basically just pushing out all the liquid and on the other end. And then I'm going to use a bottle I can clean out and reuse, and pop this in here. Wow. There you go. So that's a bottle full of lovely oat delight. So, and this is what we're going to use as a base for our cheese sauce, and as the liquid or as the milk in our Yorkshire pudding. There we go. Oat milk it is. Okay, so what we want to do, let's make the batter for our Yorkshire puddings, because why not? The batter you can make, you should make the batter up front. So make sure you are keeping this nice and cold. So the key with Yorkshire puddings is to have your tray in the oven hot with some oil, ideally as hot as possible. So really heat it up. and your batter as cold as possible. And this is where the magic happens once you got your few minutes where you put the batter onto your tray and put it back in the oven, and then it starts cooking. So I'm gonna use a cup. That's half a cup of flour, and then some salt. Need a teaspoon-ish of baking powder. There we go. So, and now we're just going to add milk, so we have the desired consistency of our Yorkshire pudding batter. And that usually doesn't take much, probably also about like a cup and a half milk. There we go. That's already perfect. So, and what I'm going to do with this is, I'm going to add it into the fridge. Now I'm going to prepare my tray. And what I need to do for this is really add a little bit of oil. You can use any kind of oil. I use just normal plant oil here. So try to drizzle a little bit into each of them, and then I'm just going to use a brush to make sure I cover everything in oil. And this is quite important because this is going to make sure we're going to do a crispy batter. So take it, pop it in the oven. Okay, and that's going to heat up now for a little while. I've got a few bits here that are random, but they're just leftover bits from like throughout the week, so I want to use them up, and why not chuck them into my cauliflower stuff. So I've got a little bit of aubergine eggplant, the Americans. So I'm just going to chop this small, like little pieces of eggplant, and I do the same thing here. So I'm going to use those, chop them up quite small, and yeah, and add them and make my cheese sauce with them, and add them to my cheese sauce. So I'm going to add a couple of blocks of garlic as well into my cheese sauce base. So this is looking good. So what I'm going to do now is going to get my batter from the freezer, because I had it in the freezer, and pop it into my tray. This is all very, very hot. And now I'm just going to add my batter to my tray as quickly as I can. Quick. Good. So my cauliflower is, as you can see, nice and cooked, so it's quite soft. Again, put this to the side. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take a little bit of water out and leave a little bit of water in, actually, because there's a lot of nutrients in this water right now. Look at this, there's so much steam going on. And then I'm going to put my vegetables in there, which I'm going to start cooking and softening. Okay, we are going to use some spices and herbs and stuff to spice our sauce. I'm going to use some salt, obviously. Just a bit of salt, typical. A little bit of pepper, ideally fresh from the mill. There we go. So I just love the taste of ground cumin, so I'm going to add a little bit of ground cumin. Oh, I can smell the garlic in here as well. So probably half a teaspoon of that. Then I'm going to add some chili powder as well, just because, again, you can add or omit anything you like. It's completely up to you. And then I'm going to add half a teaspoon of mustard. So this goes in with my vegetables here, which are cooking down nicely. And then our bestest friend, nutritional yeast, is going to come in with our homemade oat milk. And we got this mature cheddar style dairy-free cheese, which we're gonna which we're gonna use. Everything's steaming up. I'm gonna have to keep this on. Which we're gonna use as well. My vegetables are starting to getting soft. So I'm going to add a little bit of my oat milk. And oat milk can set a little bit, it can separate a little bit, especially if you make it yourself. So make sure you give it a good shake. I'm going to give my oat milk a good shake. And add a good, a good gush into it, into my sauce. In addition, I'm going to add some butter. Make it nice and creamy. And then I'm gonna double check my Yorkshires again. Oh, they're looking good. They're needing a little bit longer, but they're looking good. So, and then I'm gonna add nutritional yeast. A good 4 to 5 tablespoons full. And in roughly chop my vegan cheese into cubes. And also go into my cheese sauce. So I'm going to add all of this in. Make sure I combine this. I'm going to melt my cheese down as much as possible. And then I'm just going to puree this with my hand mixer puree thing. And this is going to become the sauce to go over our cauliflower and cheese. It looks like cheese sauce. Nice, saucy, gooey. If you'd like this a little bit thicker, add a little bit more nutritional yeast, which I'm going to do. I'm just going to add a little bit, another smotch of it. I'm going to take my, which going to make this help thickening it up. But yeah, guys, look at this. It's beautiful. Beautiful vegan cheesy sauce. With lots of hidden vegetables in it. And this just goes over my cauliflower. There we go. Look at this. How amazing is this sauce? So nice. Lovely. So we're going to make sure it's going to go ooey gooey over it. I don't even need all of it. And then I'm just going to add some breadcrumbs. And then we swap around. We take out our Yorkshire Puddings and put this in to the oven for a few, maybe 10 minutes or so. Won't need longer than that. So they don't have that hole, but they are looking this way around. They're looking nice, crisp, brown. The hole is in the middle. I can show you. There we go. So it just hasn't fallen down, if that makes sense. But yeah, they are nice, lovely, crisp, and Yorkshire. Yeah, let's try one. That's the one that I had in the beginning. Here. So they have a really, really nice consistency. I hope you can see this, okay? And they taste crunchy and lovely, just like Yorkshire pudding. Let's put the Yorkshires down first. So I'm going to put those on the side here. So let's see. Oh, so soft. Yeah. Get in. Just here we go. So this is a part of it. Actually, let's get another piece because it's just cauliflower. So a couple of pieces of cauliflower. Soy pieces, so those are dehydrated soy pieces that have a bit of a bacony flavor. So we're just going to add those to that as well. And voila! This is our cauliflower and cheese with some Yorkshire puddings, which could be better, quite frankly, but they taste exactly like Yorkshire puddings. And this is going to be the loveliest din din you've seen in a while. Enjoy your Sunday. Bye!